Songs of Six just dropped a new update, Reign of Terror. I've been playing it since launch, and honestly, this one gets closer to what I believed Songs of Six would be when I first bought the game. So today I will do a review, not of the game, but of the update of the game. Hey Lexi, why are you so competent into doing, reviews and stuff? Why does my opinion matter? I have played games since I was a child, and I'm an unprofessional YouTuber. What more do you want? Honestly, tell me in the comments. Four big systems got overhauled. Let's go through them. So, before this update, happiness was basically everything that you needed. Keep your people fed, housed, entertained. Problem is gone. No problemo. Now, there's a second axis, loyalty. And you can have citizens who are perfectly happy, but still disloyal. Or miserable, but completely loyal because they're terrified of you. I did not try the system yet in my playthrough, mostly because I'm a people pleaser. I want people to be loyal. I like them. I want them to like me. But I do really like this change of building the city around fear and terror. Now I feel like things might actually have a purpose. Why would I enslave my own race, for example? Well, so they know what happens when slow people walk too slowly and I want to zoom past them. Enslavement or death. Another new tool is guard patrols. You can station guards in residential areas to suppress unrest directly. It works, but at a cost. More guards means more upkeep, and it means you are papering over a happiness problem rather than solving it. My honest opinion on this matter is that I actually like the tool and I like the idea, and that the guard patrols can come in and take care of some sort of business. But my experience has been that the guard patrols are just walking around hand in hand, all cute, and it's actually a quite nice little animation bringing some life into your city. But I have been having so much trouble with people brawling and people getting killed, and they do absolutely nothing. I have never had so many deaths in my city without getting raided. And I've had so many guard patrols guarding around, patrolling around, doing nothing. I mean, I might have lost like 200 people in my little playthrough here, just from brawling. This is insane. The old law system was kind of forgettable. You set some punishment, it mattered occasionally. The new version is a dial between happiness and loyalty, and the key insight is that you're always trading one for the other. At one extreme, a genuinely happy population needs no law at all. You can ignore the entire system and win, or, be happy. That's a real design statement. The developer isn't forcing us to engage with it. At the other extreme, full tyranny. Invest deep enough into law infrastructure, guard rooms, secret police, gallows, and the new dread aura. And the returns become exponential. You can build a society with near zero happiness but total loyalty. A proper dystopia. I have at least 2 points to make here, and I think I'll go with the first nice one here, the gallows. I love the idea that we use something that already exists in the game, and it has been a punishment, and you're like, it doesn't matter. You go to the gallows, happy endings. But now we're actually using it to progress in some kind of way to, full tyranny. The item has a use. It fits into the world. The world building makes sense. So when you think of public executions, that kind of gives some kind of joy to people. Yeah, the bad people have been relieved of their life, but at the same time, you're also a little bit like, the government has the power. We should be careful. So in that way, it's really nice to see a known object get its full potential and the history behind it. My experience with the guard rooms have been a bit twofold. I really like the idea of using your trained citizens as guards. That makes sense. You can't just put in anyone as a guard. That's a bad guard. But making trained personnel be part of the guard rooms, perfect. It makes sense. And you don't kind of waste that potential in the game. You're using the system. Ah, we are making trained personnel. Okay, who can use this kind of room where
You're acting as the trained personnel. Maybe we should let the warriors, the archers use it. Ooh. So it makes sense. I like it. But on the other hand, I have been using them. And I can't tell you how many times we've had a brawl. People died. Hundreds of people have died in brawls, and no one has done anything. Even with the guard rooms, even with the patrols. I don't get it. I think this one is an interesting one, and I probably have a few different opinions pointing in different directions, but all in all, I like it. I like it. So this one is a quieter one than the other two, but it might actually be a bit more impactful long term, and it's a more normal mechanic for these Songs of Six updates. So the old breeder system is gone. Most races now have children naturally. They mean point point. Parents raise offspring at home until they come of age. It's a complete rethink of how population growth works. What this means in practice is that housing and services need to account for children now, not just adults. Education matters. It feeds directly into innovation, knowledge, and admin output. The new global nursery replaces old nurseries. Children spend their days there, which lowers child mortality and provides fulfillment to both citizens and slaves. And somehow they also have a place to be, so they're not on the street and being naughty biker kids or something like that. I don't get it. I didn't get that part, but you get what they mean, right? Right? And another thing which I feel like is a big thing is the family tree. Now each individual citizen has a family tree. So you produce babies, they produce babies, and you can look back and be like, that's my grandparent. I think it's really cool. I think this comes naturally from, how do you say, from a coding perspective of making a game like this. Have I actually looked at it? Do I care? No. I think it's cool if they have intentions of doing something with it, but as it is, it's just information that I don't really need to enjoy the game. My opinion on the family mechanics is that I really like it. The reason why I really like it is that the old system, you could also do this. You could do all of this, but it was a bit tedious to work with. You had to set up apples. You needed apples first. You needed to have this nursery, and you had to make sure that these children would just survive. If you, for some reason, didn't have any apples, poor children, right? So, in a way, I felt like it was a bit more difficult and a lot of micromanaging for such a small part of the game. I really like the idea of having natives in your city and trying to build that up. And in this way, it becomes a bit more normal, but the whole micromanaging part of it is kind of disappeared and has been replaced by just make sure that they survive. You will get a debuff because people are working at home, making sure that the child doesn't die within the first 2 days. And then you have normal nurseries where they don't ride scooters. So simplifying a feature of the game, making it more accessible for the player to play it, basically. I think there's so many different things you can do in the game, and you don't really get to do all of them. So trying to simplify some things, which are quite fun, which are quite interesting, but making it more accessible for the player to interact with throughout their gaming. So the last bigger thing that they changed is the tech and trade. Two systems that would do for rework, and they got it at the same time, which makes sense because they're tightly linked. Tech tree, techs are now 50% cheaper across the board, which sounds like pure buffs, but common nodes are gone and rooms with multiple recipes now cost more, with dedicated consumption tech per recipe. Net effect is that the tree is flatter and wider, but specialization costs more. You are pushed toward meaningful choices rather than just unlocking everything. Regarding the trade, the overhaul here is most mechanically dense part of the update. Tariffs now work both ways as a percentage of goods price, affecting both imports and exports. Tolls let you sell cheap goods at a premium, useful for early game cash flow. Every resource now has a per item price addition for the logistics. So the design intent here is clear. Early trade is deliberately expensive, but the late game is where it opens up. Every resource can theoretically turn into a profit depending on circumstances and where you assign your emissaries. now actually matters. It's a real resource allocation decision, not an afterthought. My opinion for the trade part is that I don't really get it. I think it's fine. I don't really use trading as much, but it's also because I like to just build and increase my population and stuff like that. I don't feel like I want to use trade as much, but I get it if you are heavily in trading and you have a nose for it. I think this is absolutely fantastic for you. The tech tree, on the other hand, I think is really nice. I think it's been quite difficult to increase your population enough, increase your city enough to even get through anything in the tech tree. So having this bit flatter perception of it is quite nice, and I think it has become a bit clearer what you should focus on, and just visually, it's just nicer. I think beforehand everything was crisscross, and you're like, why do I need that? Blah blah blah. I think this is a bit better. My final thoughts to this update is I'll try to keep this short. Overall, extremely good, especially that the developers focus that the world that they are building gives things meaning, like people in the army that are assigned to guard duty, a gallows that actually puts fear into people, and a breeder system that is actually a bigger part of the game rather than being an afterthought. I feel like there are no new items or rooms that are important, but some elements pack a bigger punch than they did before. And that changes the feel of the game when you play it. But I still have no idea why all my citizens kept brawling that much. Is a new update worth coming back for? Who gives a shit? Just play it. If you dropped off Songs for Six at some point, yes, this is probably the update that makes the mid game actually sing. The loyalty happiness access alone adds a strategic layer that the game was missing. If you're already a regular, your old saves are gone anyway, which gives you an excuse to try a full tyranny run. I mean, just kill some people. I'm Lexi. Thank you for watching. Can just in the comments, just share what your opinions are? Because I feel like mine are both wrong and right. So let me hear yours.